row before we get going. And here we go. 62 kilos in the gold and red. That's Maya Nelson. She's taking on Julia Salata in the blue. Julia Salata, Pan Am champ this summer for Team USA, up at 65 kilos. She's made the descent to 62, 65 a non-Olympic weight. And so Salata, like a lot of wrestlers, both on the men's and women's side, trying to find their appropriate weight class. And she settled on 62. Looked good so far today, navigating through a tough bracket to get here to the semifinals. Maya Nelson was the 1 seed, is the 1 seed. And she's in a shot, trying to cut across for a double, but Salata locks through the crotch, and this position may end up stalemated, and it does. Going back up to our feet. Maya Nelson just wrestled in October in the U23 World Championships. Did not earn a medal, but finished 7th there. She was a junior world champ in 2017, and Maya Nelson, a very promising prospect for the U.S. at this weight. Leader in the clubhouse for Team USA is Kayla Miracle, 62 kilos. Nope, check that. Miracle's down. Oh, verbal warning there on for passivity. So Kayla Miracle was the world team rep at 62 kilos for Team USA. And did not earn a medal, so does not get the bye to the finals, but a lot of the weight class trying to chase her. And with that second passivity warning against Nelson, she goes on the shot clock. 30 seconds. If no one scores, you'll see a point go up on the board for Salata. 2-on-1 there. Maya Nelson uses that to kind of get into a little bit of a closer tie. Now collar tie, ear to ear. Shot clock up at 25 seconds. Looking like a point's going to go on the board for Salata. And in fact, it does. She takes the 1-0 lead. Nice low-level shot there for Julia Salata. She comes out the back door, but Nelson to her feet. And Maya Nelson tries to turn this into her own points. 2 offered, white paddled as they go off the mat, grounded. And in folk style, that would have been awarded a takedown, but because Salata had that leg in there, it's not awarded 2. That's a difference in the rule set between college wrestling and freestyle. Maya Nelson getting a little bit of medical attention there, and hopefully everything okay. Nods and says, let's go. Tough athletes. And tough athletes only make it to the semifinal round of this tournament. 2-on-1 now for Nelson. Salata posting on the head. And time just about out here in this first period. Maya Nelson looks for a takedown on the end of the period, but nothing doing. Time runs out, and we got 30 seconds to go in the break before we come back to action. Halfway through that 30-second period, Maya Nelson already back to the center of the mat. She's ready to go. Julia Salata joins her, and that time is still ticking down. Maya Nelson's coaches are concerned now, only now realizing that she was not awarded that takedown for the sequence that happened before she was injured. and they're going to throw a challenge cue, but it is like well past the period for reviewing, although the officials are going to allow it. That is, there's this rule that says that challenges must come within 5 seconds of the scoring sequence, and certainly there were 13 or more seconds on the board that have already ticked off the clock, and also a 30-second break, so a lot of time has passed. And coaches are all being ordered to their corners. The panel of officials is reviewing that scoring sequence. I can see it up on the big board here in the arena. And they are, it appears, only reviewing the final. No, now they're going all the way back to the time before the injury. This is that same rule that came into play this summer in the Yanni Zane controversy that unfolded at Final X Rutgers. And the big question during that scenario is kind of the question here is like, how closely do we adhere to that rule that says you have to challenge within 5 seconds? This, again, a scenario where the challenge happening outside of that 5-second window, so we'll see if anything changes after the review. Maya Nelson's corner would like the score to be 2-1 for Maya Nelson, but if this call is not overturned, then tack on a point for Salata, it'll be 2-0. And in a match that so far has been about a shot clock point, that second point of the match could be really big. And Maya Nelson ends up with a point for the step out. So she now leads on criteria 1-1. Back to action. Nelson likes to clear with that 2-on-1 on the wrist and then climb up to a 2-on-1 Russian tie. Now she has that 2-on-1. Salata posting on the neck, making it tough for Nelson to get head position. Maya Nelson in on a shot. Salata, nice job defending. Tries to snap Nelson to the mat. Maya Nelson 2-on-1, moving forward. Salata with head position. Now Nelson kind of comes out to the side. Nelson really moving Salata around the mat this last few sequences. Salata, that left leg lead, also looking for an opening. Nelson goes behind, goes up now 3-1. Good reaction there from Maya Nelson to extend her lead. Back to our feet, minute 18. Julia Salata needs a takedown. Nelson goes wrist control there. Again, we've seen that throughout the match. Salata goes elbow control. 2-on-1 now for Nelson.
semifinal bout on mat 1, men's freestyle, 57 kilograms. Nathan Tomasello, Titan Mercury. Nishan Garrett, Titan Mercury. Tomasello and Garrett up now on
Julia Salata goes body lock. Nelson clears that tie. 2-on-1 now for Nelson, close to the edge of the mat. Gets the point on the step out. Now 4-1 is her lead. Clock is still ticking down. Several seconds ticked off the clock while they went out of bounds. Short time left in this match. Body lock for Salata. Nelson trying to force the hips away. Salata pulls it up, looks for a headlock. It's not there. Short time left. Salata attempts to throw, puts herself on her back in a last-ditch effort. Can't blame her for trying, but comes up short. Maya Nelson wins this match 6-1, and she's moved on to tomorrow night's finals.